Excited to welcome for the first time as the permanent GM of the Carolina Hurricanes to the Heister Automotive Group hotline and the Drive as a Show, Eric Tulsky. Eric, thank you very much for taking the time to jump on the show. I'm sure this week has been a busy one for you, and we'll start there. What has the first few days as the permanent GM of the Canes been like for you? What have you spent your time focused on?
Been a lot of time on the phone right now, talking to other teams, talking to agents, trying to figure out what we can do.
There's a ton of things. Right, it's funny, right? The two shows on our network both immediately went into Eric Tulsky's the guy. We got the press release in our emails. Let's talk about what that to-do list might look like. Do you have a thing or two that might be on the top of that to-do list?
Yeah, we're trying to do everything all at once. We have too many things on the list to go one at a time. So talking to a bunch of free agents, talking to teams about possible trades, working every angle we have to try and keep getting better.
Eric Tulsky, Canes GM, joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. When you talk about trades, how important is it to get big trades done with those players that might have a chance to sign an offer sheet once July rolls around?
I'm not that worried about offer sheets. I mean, first of all, they're pretty rare. Second of all, we have plenty of room to match any offer sheet, and so it's pretty unproductive for a team to do that. If a player doesn't want to be here and signs an offer sheet, he's making a mistake because he knows we're going to match and he'll end up here. So it's not really a route that I expect to see anyone take.
In those situations, is there any worry about, like, if I mean, you said it right, if someone's signing an offer sheet, they maybe indirectly are saying they don't want to be here. Is there any concern about bringing that player back into the locker room knowing once you match, you can't trade him for a year?
No, I mean, look, players have ups and downs all the time. Everybody has times in their career when they're a little frustrated, times in their career when they feel great about things. I think everybody's been through it. They know how it goes. So once the season starts, everybody will be together. There'll be a cohesive unit. I'm not worried about it. We have a really good group of guys and a group of coaches that know the players really well and know how to push the right buttons to keep everybody pulling on the same rope.
The introductory press conference, which I thought, just as a compliment here, I thought went very, very well, but there's a few things that I want to talk to you about. You thanked your predecessor in your intro presser, obviously being Don Waddell. What did you maybe learn from Don about being an NHL general manager when you were working under him as an assistant GM and in some other roles?
Yeah, I learned a lot from him. I mean, it was probably the closest I've seen firsthand to daily conversations with other teams, with interactions with the staff, just getting that observation firsthand of somebody who's done it for a long time and been successful, and seeing how they operate was really good experience for me.
Another line from the presser that I saw get the rounds on social media, and I'm sure you did as well, is we didn't hire ChatGPT to be the next GM. There is this reputation, and your resume, when you look at it, there are a whole bunch of words. I don't pretend to be the smartest guy in the world, but I don't even understand some of the words and the patents that you hold and all those sort of things. There's this reputation that you're a numbers guy, super analytics, human calculator. Does that bother you at all, that's kind of how maybe your first impression has come across to certain factions of the fan base?
No, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's what they know me for, right? It's what I did before I started working for the team, and so it's how they've seen me. But I've been with the team for 10 years now. I've spent 4 years leading a pro scouting group. I've been leading the salary cap and contract group. I've done a lot more. They just haven't seen it. So it's natural to associate me with the work that they've seen me do. And, it's okay. I didn't get promoted to this role because they thought we needed to turn everything over to data. I got promoted to this role because they believed I could do it.
And in addition to that, and by the way, we're talking with Eric Tulsky, brand new Carolina Hurricanes permanent GM, being promoted from assistant GM to replace Don Waddell. Kind of in addition to that, you mentioned in your presser that you need to make at least one hire. Do you have a specific role or qualifications that you're looking for that new hire and what they would be filling?
We're still working out a staffing plan. There are a couple different places where we could stand to strengthen the front office. And so figuring out how much of that will be internal shifting and how much of it will be external hiring is still on my to-do list.
Which, and I completely respect it. That to-do list, daunting, because it seems like with every, we're just from the outside, and every single time that we bring up something else, it just seems like it'd be another thing added to the to-do list. Is it daunting to take over a job like this with so many things, pressing needs right on your front doorstep?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly been a busy month. There's no doubt about that. But look, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So you got to roll with it.
Is there is the hay in the barn when it comes to the draft? Do you have a good idea of what's going on there? Because, like I said, on your front doorstep, that's just another thing.
Yeah, so Darren York, our assistant GM, runs the amateur scouting group, and he does a fantastic job, and that group performs at a very high level. I don't think anything will change on that side. I will be sitting in on those meetings just like I always do, but largely entrusting him to make the decisions about what our list should look like.
One of the things you got done as an interim GM is actually an excellent way to endear yourself to our show immediately, because we're big fans of Jalen Chatfield, and we wanted to see him stick around, and you settled on that 3 years, $3 million per contract. What was it like negotiating with him? Was did you have full autonomy as the interim, and how do you end up with that particular deal?
Yeah, I don't think anything changed with the title. So that was not an issue. Negotiation, look, he's a great player, and he's developed a lot and grown a lot in his time here. And that meant he was due for a big raise. And we have a complicated cap situation, and so we had to manage that as well as we could. But he's an important part of what we do. He fits our system as well as anyone. And he knew that, and he wanted to be here, and he likes it here. And so we found a way to make it work for everyone.
If nothing changed with the titles, did anything change with your relationship with Tom Dundon? The public seems to be it's like our sports version of gossip. We love to know how much the GM is talking with the owner, and Don Waddell made some jokes about it at the exit presser. You obviously mentioned that he's, you talk to him quite often. How much is that what you expected, and what is that relationship like as you take over?
Yeah, I'm very close with Tom. We talk a lot. He likes to check in regularly to make sure he knows how we're approaching things and what we're doing. The process is very important to him, and he wants to make sure we're thinking about everything and going through things the right way, and never just taking the easy path, but doing the work to make sure we're finding the best options we can and getting it done.
We also, right at the end of this season, saw some glimpses of some of the prospects. Are there maybe a name or two that you expect to be we can help introduce to the fans that maybe we can talk about a little bit more during the offseason, so we're all familiar with the new guys as they might have a good chance of making the opening day roster? So we can help you out?
So we have a strong prospect pool. I think it's going to be a challenge for them because we also have a strong NHL team. And I think we have a lot of players who are right there, ready to break through. And it's going to be a tough competition for spots. So, whether that's Brad Nadeau or Felix Unger-Sorum or Scott Morrow or Jackson Blake, I think there's a lot of guys who are going to be in the mix, and it's going to be a battle in camp to see who can earn a spot.
And those are the exact names that we were talking about there. Eric, we appreciate you for taking the time, and hopefully we can do this a few times throughout the offseason. I know, as we talked about, there's a lot of stuff to get done. You have a lot of irons in the fire, and we'll be right there to react to all of those decisions that get made now that you're in the head chair.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me on, Tim.